everyone, today I'll be reviewing this brand new comedy special just dropped on Netflix. It's called Romesh Ranganathan, the Cynic. I guess he's a stand-up comedian in England, and I never actually heard of him, but I saw a little trailer. I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting. And this comedy special was actually surprisingly, it was really funny. And I was like, oh my god, he's really, some of his jokes he was saying in this especially about vegan people, and he did talk about Will Smith, and he talks about himself, his wife, his kid, especially he talks about his look. That bit was hilarious. I was like, oh my god. Some of the stuff he was saying in this comedy special, I was like, bro, this guy is really funny. And as he starts his comedy special, he starts with how Netflix wanted to cover his comedy special because he is falling into this diversity quota. And I was like, oh man, that's really good. And I guess he was in his hometown and he was talking about it. And I must say, his crowd that he was doing this stand-up to, the crowd really enjoyed his comedy special. It's just testament to people who probably really like him. And I think this comedy special, if I had to say, did I get bored in any part of this comedy special? I don't know. All his jokes, and I was really laughing out loud, probably because someone who is different color, and sometimes when you are out, people will mistake you for someone else, like someone who looks like brown. They will say, "Who is that you?" And you're like, "No, it's like not me." And as he was saying in his some of his comedy, I could relate to. As he was saying, everywhere he goes, people try to take his picture, and then they, when he goes to them, and they try to take his picture, and they're like, oh, you are not the person I thought. And he's like, who you thought I was? So he said, are you Romesh? And he's like, yeah, I am. And then he said, like, no, you don't look like him. And I thought some of his comedy it's not just for one color people, for many people is saying, like at my work, I sometimes get confused when I see everyone's face, like especially I guess for any nation people, their face and look similar, that you do get confused. Yeah, he talked about look a lot, but I was really laughing out loud about his joke on he said the turkeys are ugly or something. I was like, oh my god. His turkey joke I liked. It was funny. His dog joke, like he's talking about dog because he has a dog, and his dog joke were also funny. And his vegan joke, I was like, yes, vegan people, they do think they're the best people in the world because they're doing something good. And people who eat meat, and we when we see vegan people, we're like, oh really, you are vegan? And you're like, oh, that's just a genuine people's reaction, you know what I mean? Whenever you meet vegan people, you're like, oh, you are vegan? Oh, I need to stay away from you. Yeah, some of this joke he was saying, it was really funny, and I was like, oh my god, where did this come from? I think people will really enjoy his comedy special. And he was talking about Will Smith joke, although I was really glad he didn't drag a lot. Also, he was talking about a pandemic, and I feel like all this stand-up comedian, they start talking about pandemic. It's something they have to talk about, I guess. Or I might be wrong, because all this comedy special is coming out on Netflix. Looks like they're always talking about pandemic. Maybe they have to add something about it. That is what I was thinking. Although he talked a lot about his wife. His wife saw a cat and like, I wonder if she's going to be mad at him or not. Some of them like, his joke about his wife was like, oh my god, I hope she's not mad at him. Then again, she knows he's a comedian. So, he was joking about his kids. To me, I was really laughing out loud when he talks about himself, his look. Nobody's like, one of this picture he was talking about some of these people he went out with, and then they took his picture, and everybody was talking about other two guys in the picture. Nobody was talking about it. I was really laughing his joke. Some of these jokes are really, maybe because he was not many comedians will be talking about themselves. He was talking about himself, and his jokes are not attack on anybody, I think, which is which is very rare these days, because this comedian, they go on stage and they start attacking other people, which sometimes can be funny for them, but it's also mean when you attack someone is sitting in your crowd. Although he did get mad at one lady, she was laughing so much at his joke. I think maybe that was set up, because she was really laughing loud, and I was like, oh. Although that's how the comedians are. I think the best part about this comedy special, I would say that he was trying to make his joke around his family and himself, and he never really attacked anybody else. So that is something very refreshing, because this comedian, they go up to stage and they think, oh, I can attack everyone. Sometimes they can be very, how do I say, defensive. Like, people get defensive when they hear their joke. They're like, sorry, I meant offensive. It can be offensive toward the people who you are telling the joke to. That's what I think personally. This was really good time. Let me know in that comment, what do you think about this comedy special? Which part was your favorite? Overall, I thought it was really good, and that's my thought on. Let me know in the comment, what do you think about this? And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget my other reviews. Don't forget to check out my recent review on Trevor Noah. I wish you would. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.